Okay, we'll open the meeting at 3:05. So, we're gonna start out with, you gonna give us a presentation with this, or you want to do it here?
Okay, so you're gonna do a roll call?
Yeah, I know everybody's here.
Okay.
Deanna Moran,
Here.
John, and Paul.
Yeah.
The real board is here,
Okay.
the other ones are not, so. Presentation of the reciprocate plan for the election day services for determining the Tiverton precinct designations and locations.
Chair, they have contacted me, election data services, they're running late, and so they'll be here hopefully by about 3:15.
Okay, 10 more minutes, okay.
So with that, we can move on to the next agenda item.
Discussion and possibility vote to select and approve the dates, time for possible emergency ballots, early voting before the financial town referendum.
So if you look at this handout that I gave you, this is the vote, the important dates and events. So we put this together.
I knew that part.
We had a
quarter hours, half hours. I didn't know you could have these that.
Excuse me, Priscilla, we're having a meeting. Thank you. So we put this together, and before I can post it, there needs to be a decision on whether you're gonna have absentee voting on the Thursday and the Friday before the financial town referendum on Saturday, the 21st, May 21st. So I need you to determine and approve any absentee voting on those days. I think one year you did three
Yeah,
days.
I think 2's enough.
And then last FTR you did 2.
Yeah.
So before I
That was the
introduce
FTR,
this
okay.
and put this up on the website, we need to have your approval.
Madam Town Clerk, what is your recommendation?
We seem to have, with the 2 days, it seemed to be enough. Plus all day on Saturday was plenty of time.
Yeah.
For those people who couldn't make it on Saturday, they had Thursday and Friday for the hours that the town hall is open, from 8:30 to 4 to vote. And that seemed reasonable. We had traffic, wasn't that much.
Yeah.
There was only one budget on the ballot, so it was very slim pickings last.
And these would be the 2 dates?
Yes.
But you're going to start at 7, not 8:30.
That's up to you.
I think 8:30 is fine.
Yeah, people would like to come in maybe too when they go to work.
Hey, some people working.
So 7 o'clock would be convenient for a lot of
Yeah.
people. I don't know how, Joan, you feel about that, but that makes it more, if we're gonna consolidate it into 2 days, give folks as much opportunity as possible. I think 7 o'clock is better. I know from my standpoint, when I was still going into the office, that would have been perfect. But just one person's opinion.
So it's up to you what hours, the last FTR, we used the office hours of 8:30 to 4. I agree, there are people who could possibly vote in early morning and then after 4 o'clock, because people don't get out until later in the day. So that's up to you, what hours you would like. I believe the year before, it was, or in 2020 or 2019, you had 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Is it a staffing issue?
We would have to
I know,
staff for those hours.
But is it going to be difficult to do it?
Well, we have 2 supervisors on that day, and then someone from the clerk's office would have to be here.
I
So-
think to have it for the hours that this town hall is open is plenty. They can always come on Saturday, they can come on, we do everything. They can mail ballot, they can do everything. Next thing will be going to their houses.
But now you working in Providence What are you gonna do?
Come on Saturday. Do a mail-in, do a mail-in.
Well, there is that option of mail-in ballots
Yeah.
or, this is the early voting.
People may not know about the mail ballot option. It may be, because of their hours, difficult to get to the town hall during the town hall hours to apply for a ballot. I don't know.
But I think that they assume that it's the hours that the town hall is open. Do we have any statistics on how many we had during those times?
Not off the top of my head. But we did have people come in on Thursday and Friday.
But we started at 8:30, right? Yeah.
Right.
I know, excuse me, complete your thought, I'm sorry to
No,
interrupt.
that's okay, go ahead.
I know at the polls, we have people waiting there.
Right.
At the polls as soon as we open up. So,
Yeah.
We can do it either way. I don't have a problem either way. There's only 2 supervisors, and if we have to split the day, have people come in the morning, work till noon, and then or 1 o'clock, and then second shift come in, work till 8, that's okay too.
I also suggest that we keep statistics and find out how many people we have at those times.
We can do that.
I think it's important, so next year we know.
ready for a question on the matter, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, I am. I was thinking, but I was thinking the wrong way again.
I make a motion that we follow the recommendation of the town clerk for the 2-day voting, May 19th and May 20th. But my motion would include the hours of 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
You heard the motion. Don't second it? I do.
Okay.
I second it. All those in favor?
No,
No. I did.
So the motion passes?
Yeah.
Motion passes.
Now, Saturday's gonna be open at regular hours.
Yep, 7 to 8. I do have a new canvassing clerk,
oh, I heard that.
so that's good.
Should we be introduced to her?
She's not here today,
Oh,
but we do have one, so
okay.
that's good.
I heard that we did, but.
Okay, the next on the ballot is the ballot. Agenda. Carried away here. Review dates of the financial town referendum schedule.
Okay, when I put this together and updated the dates, I used this as well. These are the critical dates, key dates for the financial town referendum for the standpoint of
Submission.
the ballot, the budget being submitted from the budget committee. That's due by April 7th. And then if there are any budget proposals or resolutions from the school committee or the town council, they would come in, they would be due by 4/14. And then the electors, if they have any,
Where are we seeing that?
4/14?
At the bottom.
Oh, okay. All right, I see.
So as soon as the budget committee has approved their budget and the resolutions, then I will be able to, if there's any elector petitions,
Yeah.
electors coming in to provide any budget petitions, then we can handle that at the clerk's office between April 8th through April 16th. And then they would have to return their budget petition forms with signatures by April 23rd. And then Board of Canvassers would be certifying all elected petitions on, before April 30th.
Make sure you check them good, because they'll come back on you in a minute. You know, so I did put it in on time, you just didn't write it down and all that stuff.
So Joan, the dates of April 8th and April 16th, what is the purpose of that timeline?
That's when they can come to the clerk's office and submit their petition information. I can copy that information to the form and then give them the form back so that they can get their signatures.
This is for alternate budgets?
Yes. So if you look at this vote sheet, this is like a combination of the two, because there's voter information we have to provide, which is Monday, April 4th. Mail ballot applications will be available, and they're due back to the clerk's office no later than 4 p.m. on May 6th. Then this carries over to the alternate budget proposal elector petitions made available by the town clerk. That's from Friday, April 8th through April 16th.
I think we ought, if this goes out, I think we ought to put the times, if it's 4 o'clock or whatever,
It's on this.
on this.
So
On
the
this.
clerk's office will be open on the 16th because it's a Saturday
Okay.
from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Thursday, April 21st is the last day voter registration, so that they're eligible to vote in the financial town referendum. And they can do that by bringing in the form here, or actually going online to vote.ri.gov, and they can apply online
That's
to register to vote.
That's April 21st?
April 21st. They have to be registered to vote 30 days in advance of the FTR. Once 30 days is when you get the final preliminary canvass and then the final canvass. So on Saturday, April 23rd, that's when all of the budget, elected petitions, and resolutions with signatures are due back to the town clerk's office. And again, because that's a Saturday, we'll be accepting those between 9 a.m. and 12 noon to accept those petitions. Then my office will validate those signatures to ensure that they have the 50 required signatures on each of the petitions. And then April 26th, it's a Tuesday, that's when you come into play.
Yay.
And you have to have a meeting for the Board of Canvassers to certify all the elector petitions and certify ballot wording and the lottery if we have more than one elector petition. Then on Friday, April 29th, this is the final canvass of the voting list that has to be certified. That's a required date, so it's April 29th at 4 p.m., so there will be a meeting here, so check your calendars, make sure that you're available. The next date is May 5th, and that's the financial town hearing, and that will be at the high school auditorium at 7 p.m. that night, where the budget committee will go over their budget proposal, budget docket, and resolutions. And then if there's any town council resolutions, they'll review those as well, or any school committee resolutions. That would be the time that that would be reviewed, as well as any elector petitions or resolutions. Then on May 6th, that's the date that mail ballot applications have to be returned to the clerk's office by 4. May 9th is the emergency mail ballot applications are available here at the town hall, at the clerk's office. So that's, again, you have mail ballots, it has its sets of dates, and then you have the emergency mail ballot, and that has its sets of dates. The emergency mail ballot period ends on May 20th, which is the day before the financial town referendum at 4 p.m. And Thursday, the 19th, and Friday, the 20th, you just voted for the absentee voting for the financial town referendum. We'll be here at Town Hall. We'll have it set up here as we normally do, from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Then on Friday, also May 20th, that's emergency mail ballots are due back to the clerk's office by 4. Then Saturday, May 21st, is the financial town referendum at the Tiverton High School from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then only if there's a runoff needed with June 4th, Saturday, June 4th, we'd have to schedule as the FTR runoff, only if necessary.
Okay.
So we've reviewed that. We'll be posting this to the website, and we'll be providing it to the town council. Get the information out as much as possible.
And you don't think that it's confusing to have things start at 4 o'clock rather than 4:30 when you guys leave?
No, we close at 4.
You close at 4? Oh, I
Yeah.
thought it was 4:30 you closed.
Nope,
Oh,
8:30 to
no
4.
wonder I don't get a hold of you after 4.
That's probably right, because we're all
Okay.
gone.
All right, good.
So that reviews the financial town referendum and how voting is, the requirements of votings for mail ballot applications, emergency mail ballot applications, and when they're due, the absentee voting 2 days before the FTR, and then FTR. We're still working on poll workers. The location is already set to the high school. And then, because we've already got the approval of the school department to have the FTR at the high school. And then we'll work out meal arrangements and all that. So,
Typical stuff, yeah, okay.
yep. Any questions? Good?
Yeah.
No, you've done a fine job, much more.
I'd like to commend the town clerk, very
Yeah.
comprehensive and
Yeah, right,
informative.
me too,
Yes.
right. Much more, yeah.
We've also put an advertisement in the paper for the final canvas. It'll be in this week's paper and the following week's paper. It has to be in there 2 weeks, so it's already set 4 o'clock on April 29th, because that's the cutoff.
Excuse me,
God bless you.
I'd like to see some statistics of last year. How many absentee, how many actual voted, you know, the whole 9 yards of the last FTR.
Okay. Can do.
Yeah,
We'll get
I
that
think
for
it's
you.
important that we see.
And then we can compare to this year. We won't have an hour-by-hour count, but
That's all right,
at least we'll have a total
Right.
for each day.
right.
And can get that information for you.
Mm-hmm.
No problem.
Okay. Yeah, do we continue the meeting open for these people?
Can we just, this is a quick one,
Yeah, okay,
this, the number 4.
yeah,
Want to do that quick? I just want to give you an update.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, okay.
So item 4 is update on the budget docket printing for the financial town hearing. We've already got Paul's Press lined up, as we did last year. We've told them in advance so that they could get a paper supply. As we know, ink, paper, everything has supply chain issues. So we've informed them, we have put, let them know that we're gonna have like 300 copies, like we did last year. We're expecting probably an 11-page document, and the front and the back page, we've opted for green this year.
Oh, good.
Nice mint green.
That was a big decision.
That is.
Do we get a vote on that?
No, I picked it.
We'll give you that privilege.
It happened that it was on St. Patty's Day, and I said, well, why don't we just have green? So the clerk's office voted for green.
And we're working with the same budget that we had last year for the FTR.
Yes.
Did we pretty much meet it? Or we would-
Last year, yes. It's kind of hard to tell because last year we had a delay in the FTR, so
Oh, that's
it went over from one fiscal year budget to the next.
Oh,
So even though the FTR dollars, we spent like 5,000 this year, there were a few $1,000s we spent in the previous year's budget. So it's because it happened later in July, so there was,
Yeah.
so I don't have like, okay, I can point and say, this is all FTR dollars.
Okay.
So I know that it's around 5,000 this year and a couple of thousand in the previous fiscal year budget, because it cuts off at July 1st or June 30th. Okay, now you can go to one. Any questions on the
Yeah.
docket?
I have none. I think we've covered everything.
Okay.
Well, another, well, anyway. Go. Do we have a motion to accept these?
Motion to accept.
Okay.
Second?
All those in favor? So is Deanna, all of myself.
Now we can go to one.
Yeah. Now,
You see that election data services is here.
So, we have been involved with doing the redistricting here in the state for 5 decades, working with the state legislature and looking at the congressional, the state senate, and the state house districts. We also, once we have that big logjam through the process, then we end up working with towns and cities. And whether or not the town has wards that they may have to draw themselves for their own local districts, or like you're at large from a local standpoint, we also get involved in then the precincts and doing the voting districts and helping that process out. We work with the Secretary of State's office an awful lot in looking at the statewide voter registration system, the CVRS, that you guys tap into all the time. We're the ones that, back in 2004, we were subcontractor to the contract that the Secretary of State had to totally redo the CVRS. And so we were the ones that were in charge of basically all the precincting and the street file information. There we go. And, and so we were the ones that put together the street file originally. And then we have continued to work with the Secretary of State to work with the towns and update it as new streets may come into existence, or a new house that changes the address range. All of those kind of circumstances that may change the street file itself. So we get involved with all of those kind of components on that side. And as I said, it means that we are heavily involved and it never stops. I'm still looking for my 1990 round of vacation. It just doesn't seem to stop, it keeps on going. I end up also working on court cases, as soon as I landed and Ryan picked me up, I was on a conference call with a bunch of lawyers on another court case I'm involved with, all the way up to your parking lot here. So that's why Ryan came in first and I came in second. So we get involved in a bunch of different things on that side. What we have here is a package that, is called Autobound. And we also have adjusted it to deal with precinct configurations. And while Autobound was originally designed for looking at census data, when you're looking at drawing districts, For the purposes of precincting, we're interested in number of registered voters. So it's looking at a subset of the total population that the Census Bureau has. What it does mean is that we take the voter file, and all the registered voters that are here in the city, or in the town, and we do what's called geocode, which means that we look at the address and figure out where physically that address is located in town. So that we know that Kim Brace on this street lives right here. And because we can put it on a point for that address, we also then know what census block I'm in, what precinct I'm in, all of those kind of things. And it lets us then do the kind of work that we're seeing here, is drawing the precincts and having it automatically tally up the number of registered voters in the bottom left-hand side. And so here's an instance where we're looking at the different pieces of geography that are here in the town and how it relates to then the number of registered voters.
Has there been a significant decrease or increase in voters in Tiverton in the last census?
Well, what we have is we have the number of registered voters and the information that is in the voter file, the CVRS, as of December of last year. We're going to be doing new work with the Secretary of State, and we'll get a new file of voters, and we'll be able to see what kind of changes there are. There hasn't really been a lot of changes since December.
You're not anticipating any big changes?
Not from what we're seeing so far. Because of all the redistricting work, we are cognizant of population shifts in the state. And so from a long-range standpoint, 10 years ago when we drew districts in 2010, we were seeing what had happened since 2000. And in that time period, what we had is a bunch of people that were leaving Providence area and heading South County. And so we had an increase in South County. That was 10 years ago. This time, when the census data came out, it was a reversal. Yeah, they were going from South County back into Providence. So Providence picked up a half of the state house district. So it's the dynamics of what's going on in this state that is really interesting to see and see what impact that has.
I was astonished that would be true.
Yeah, so what we've done is we have, this is coming from, we set up a web page for the state legislature. And so we've got all this information that we use for legislative redistricting, and we can access it and show you here just from a general change of what's happening in population from 2010 to 2020.
Yeah, this is total population, not voters.
Right, and not registered voters.
Okay.
Okay, so this is total pop.
Yeah,
So-
this played a role with the state legislative districts. We don't have prepared a 2010 voter map to say what has changed voter-wise since 2010.
Right.
Yeah, because
So what you do have is you have in population, Tiverton increased 579 people in this past decade. Okay? So, certainly more than Little Compton.
but as far as the state, or with the legislative district goes, very stagnant, same as before.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was an interesting circumstance in just looking at what was taking place. But the same kind of mechanism we can do as it relates to number of registered voters and looking at registration data in seeing where the population is or where the registered voters are.
Could I ask you a question?
Uh-huh.
Did we gain 579 or did we lose?
Gained.
You gained,
Okay.
gained 579, yep, in the last decade. So what we can do is we can now, what Ryan has done is he has taken the state legislative boundaries.
Yep.
Those become kind of a beginning jigsaw puzzle for dealing with how do we deal with precincts. Well, the precincts need to follow the state legislative boundaries. So in this instance, Ryan is showing in that 10th district,
The 10th Senate District, because the
Yep.
Secretary of State wants to number their precincts with Senate number, the lowest Senate number creates the lowest precinct number, and then you go up to the next House number. And then when you complete the Senate, that Senate number, then you move on to the next Senate number. So in Tiverton, you have Senate Districts 10 and 12, and all of 10 is in House District 70. So we would number our precincts all within Senate District 10 before moving on to the Senate District 12, at which point we color in all the pairings of Senate 12 and House 70, and then the last would be Senate 12 and House 71. So that'll be kind of our hierarchy for naming the precincts. That standard comes from the Board of Elections.
so what we have here is, in this first piece of geography, those people that are in the 10th senatorial district, by coloring that in, we see we've got 8,150 people in that legislative district, that new legislative district that they've enacted, okay? Now, 8,000 is more than what the state says you can have for a precinct. You supposed to, previously the higher limit was 3,000. We're waiting for the state Senate to approve a bill. The state House has already done that, to increase the size, acceptable size of a precinct from 3,000 to 3,500.
Still 3 precincts here though, because no
Yeah.
matter what.
So what we have here with 8,000, what is a denominator that can divide into the 8,000? You're not going to be able to do only 2 precincts in this area, because that's 4,000 and that's over the limit. So in this area, we're going to have 3 precincts. Okay, is what this tells us from the standpoint of what. Now, these are going to be different than what the precincts are that you have before, because the lines have changed. And that's why we end up having to make changes to the street file in the CVRS so that the voters are correctly assigned to the right precinct.
Bryce?
Yeah.
The senatorial district 11, that's been eliminated, I take it?
That's gone. Yep.
Right. It's someplace else. It's not gone, but it's someplace else.
It's over in Portsmouth and Bristol.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No longer in Tiverton.
That's right. That's the proper way of saying it.
So
Yeah.
now, so
And
now
that was because of shift in population?
Because of the shifts of populations, yep. So you are a victor of that shift in terms of population from that side. So, so it looks like we're gonna have 3 precincts up in this territory, okay? You wanna go in and fill in the other ones so we can see what they are?
sure.
So what Ryan's gonna do is, in the Senate 12 side of the equation,
Okay, I'm gonna do it by block.
by block, yeah. This lets us do different levels of geography to assign territory. So we were just assigning on the basis of precincts, but in order to assign this territory down here, we have to go down to what's called census blocks. And census blocks are basically anywhere there is some feature that is visible to a census taker. If he's gone out and walked the area in your town and needs to find that Kim Brace that hasn't filled out the form, and he walks along the street that I live on and can figure out that I'm in this census block, that's what he's looking for. So a census block is basically a piece of geography that is bounded by, in simplistic terms, bounded by a series of streets. You know, street A, street B, street C, street D. So that forms a block, okay? But in rural areas, like in here, what you have is you have other kinds of geography that can make up a census block. So in this instance, you have maybe a stream, or you don't have it here, but a railroad or other kinds of geography features. Those can form census block boundaries also. So that's the geography that the Census Bureau uses and that we use. So now what Ryan has done is drawn in the other precinct, that being in the 12th Senate District
And 70th House.
and 70th House, okay?
And then we have they have the House District 70 down here, 71.
So what we've got is,
You're gonna have two precincts up in the previous ballot style, and only one, and they only need one down in the 71st.
okay, so here we've got all the number of registered voters in town assigned to the 3 state Senate districts that come into
The ballot styles.
the ballot styles. And so you've got there that 71st House District portion of Senate 12, that has 1,617 people in it. That's a perfect size for a precinct. So we know already there's one of them. We don't have to do anything else. That is where that precinct would end up being. Now, we'll talk about, after we've drawn the geography, we'll talk about polling places, because that's the other important piece from your guys' standpoint. But first off, we've got to figure out the geography on that side. So we've got 1,617 people in this 7th district. We've got in that number 4 area, which is Senate 12
House 70.
and House 70. In that territory, we've got 3,864 people, voters. Now, that poses an interesting phenomenon here. What the language of the bill says is it's going from 3,000 to 3,500. But there's also language in there that the Secretary, or the State Board of Elections uses, that if it's a little bit over, and the question of how much a little bit over is, the state board usually looks at 500. So in theory, they might be able to approve something that is up to 4,000, but they don't like to do that. Now, we're sitting at 3,872. That's getting close. And so you have a decision point of, do we stay at 3,872, or do we divide it into 2? And that's your guys' call. part of the determination of that is what polling places do you have there? Do you have something that would handle that number of registered voters? That's a lot of people coming through. Now, you've got absentees, you've got, early votings and all of that, but it's still a lot of people that potentially comes through that precinct.
You should be so lucky.
Yeah.
Mr. Brace.
Yes.
3872 is in which district?
That is in what we see up here is Area 4, which is the combination of Senate 12 and House 70. In that territory where those two circumstances happen, that's a ballot style that's got 3,872 registered voters in it. Okay?
So senatorial District 12 and House District 7, is that what it's saying?
Yes, right. Is where those overlay each other, that's what's in this Area 4. Okay? Now, in part of what you should also consider in, do I divide this into two, or do I try to keep it the way it is? Part of the question also becomes, what do you think's gonna happen over the next 2 years, 4 years? Up to 10 years, or 8 years? Is there the potential of, in this territory, more people coming into it? I mean, we're already seeing the northern part of the town, a lot of people, because that's the 8,400 that's up on top. But this is sitting in the middle part, and is that middle part gonna expand also, would be my question. And that's where your expertise, and maybe your town planner, can come into play. I mean, has he gotten, applications for building of an apartment building? I don't know, you're not gonna have an apartment building, but.
We have some big developments that are in the works.
In the works, yeah. So, where is that located, and is it in this territory? That would be something that, I'd want to see and think about from your standpoint of, do we divide this into 2 precincts or keep it as one? So it's polling places and potential growth you need to be cognizant of in making that decision of what should we do.
We're gonna have, it's hard enough to find polling places now.
Yes, I know. Yep.
Now, this makes a big difference here.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I don't even know where I'm at here. Don't tell me.
Well,
We can find your address if you give it to us.
Yeah, I did do that. Because we usually do it to Anglican.
What's your
Anglican
address?
Church down there.
What's
That's the only place that's down there that we can have a polling place.
yeah,
You have it at the fire station, you ain't no schools down there. You ain't
Can't have it at the fire station?
nothing. No.
Where do the people in Tiverton 6 and 7 normally vote?
So,
I know you sent me.
Stone Church Road, off East Road. East Road is split in a district right now.
right. So,
3306, you have 3306 and 3307 in South Tiverton right now.
Mhm.
One votes at Amicable Church
Okay.
on Main Road, and the other votes at the high school.
A,
We have La Palma and Stephanie down there.
Say again? Say again?
I'm just saying who the state representative and the senator is down there. They mix with Little Compton.
right, right.
So,
He's gone tonight.
Is what?
He's not here anymore. I mean, that position isn't here anymore. We lost that.
Yes, that's correct, yeah. So, we can end up, if we know an address, we can put a dot on this map.
yeah, I know she sent it to me. I'm just looking for it. There we go. Okay, amicable, 3736 Main Road.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. That's where that's located.
And then you have the height, you said the height, okay, so then
High school.
then the 6 goes to 100 North Brayton Road.
Not great.
Okay. Okay, I found a bunch of options there, but I know we can see the high school is here. I'll go to your favorite. Has the amicable been church been amicable to you for polling for election day?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
And it has been approved, right now it's in district right now. It can stay, I mean, if it's been, I don't see, I mean, bring your local knowledge to the town. You said there's not a lot of options in southern Tiverton, right?
Correct.
Then you'll probably easily get permission to use them again for this bottom precinct.
I didn't get that.
You'll probably easily get permission to have a polling place outside the precinct. Yeah.
Not good. You're traveling a long distance.
Right.
Yeah.
But down in this neck of the woods, as you said, there's not a lot that you have a potential of choices for a polling place.
Yeah.
So, now I'm assuming that, indeed, when you looked at the old precincts, the people down here in precinct 7 ended up going to that amicable school,
Yeah.
or amicable church.
Church, yeah.
And so everybody south of that blue line would still go to the same place,
Okay, go
okay?
to-
But people to the north of that line would not go to that polling place. They need to go up further. And people over here in the eastern side,
Yeah.
in Old 6, they're gonna end up going over to the church here. At least as it relates to anybody that was below this blue line. Okay? So you've got some change that will come into play with a bunch of your voters. But certainly, that point of where the church is, yeah, it's outside the precinct, but that's the only thing you've got. So, that's a petition to Bob Raposo in order to say, hey, we don't have any choices down here, and this is where we need to have our polling place.
Well,
And
you
that's-
close down one school, you can't do it at the fire station.
Right, yep.
We interfere with the fire as they come through.
Come through, and, yeah, that's right.
Well, we've had it in North Tiverton Fire Department.
They do?
We've had it in the past.
Yeah, but they're not anymore.
Oh, no, they don't allow it
No.
anymore? I see.
So,
They go to, okay, they go down to VFW or gas.
yeah,
Does that come from the fire department itself or the board of canvassers?
Or the, yeah, state.
Board of election?
Yeah.
Okay.
They'd rather not use the fire station.
I'm gonna make one quick change here. I'm gonna change the precinct 7 to be precinct 6. Because you have 7 precincts right now?
Yes.
All right. What we're showing is that you can go down to 6. So I named the 7, but I'm gonna actually name it 6. Because you do have the ability to just have 6 precincts in the city, town.
and not have to have a 7th,
Yeah.
okay?
Okay. So I just made that quick change.
All right, so the next question then is this territory for number 4. That's the 3872. And in all likelihood, you're gonna need to probably divide that.
Eventually or now?
That's your call.
We have not yet had a town wanting to try and get that number approved
Right,
yet,
And because it's at 38?
because it's,
38.
yeah, 10% over the 3,500 cap,
Yep.
pending cap.
Whatever we did now with that precinct, how long would it be before we could change them again?
You can change precincts throughout the decade.
Okay.
Okay, so if, right now you've got 3,800 registered voters, if you suddenly got a bunch of development that went in there and it got a whole bunch more, you needed to have not 2 precincts there, but 3, you know, or something like that, you could still do that on that side. And so you've got throughout the decade to have that kind of potential. And clearly in the northern part of town is where you've got your growth.
Well,
Or tell me, what do you see? You live here, I don't, I mean, I'm just,
yeah,
I play with numbers here.
I'd
you know.
say, yeah, I guess technically speaking, because, you know, most people think of North Tiverton as the extreme north. North Tiverton actually goes down to Cary Lane, and you've got a couple of projects down around the Cary Lane area, which would be in North Tiverton. So I guess for now, there's a lot of development there.
There, really, yeah.
That project that's going in on
Sousa and,
Sousa and Fish,
uh-huh.
I'm thinking of. The one on Sousa and Maine, that's North Tiverton. But I'm wondering, yeah, I guess the one on Fish would be North Tiverton also.
Yes.
No, okay, so,
And that's gonna be,
Really, yeah.
but that's not gonna be done for a couple of years.
but that's what he's saying.
They haven't even started yet.
Really. I mean, part of what you also should think about is, you know, we have in 2022 a off-year election. But in 2024, we got a presidential election.
I'm starting to learn that off-year elections are just as busy in Rhode Island, because you have the governor's race.
Race and everything else, yeah, yeah.
Right.
And
So that's certainly the case too, yeah.
I do pose a question about a possible polling place that's in district for number 6. It's called St. Madeleine Catholic Church. Do you have any experience with that?
St. Madeline's?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's tiny.
Is it tiny?
Is it really?
Very small.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay. Okay.
Could it handle the 1,600 registered voters? No, really? Okay.
Well, how many voters did we have going to the North Tiverton Volunteer Fire Department, which would be just a small one? How many voters did we have going there?
I don't know.
That's very small, it's just a small fall.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I would still keep St. Madeline's in mind.
I tend to, well, you're more familiar with St. Madeline's than I am.
Yeah, for the road from me.
Yeah, right, that's what I mean.
East Road, yeah.
Yeah,
It's on the
I
right
remember
road.
it as very
How would
tiny.
you compare how would you compare the location, the site where the voting would be, size-wise, compared to the North Tiverton Volunteer Fire Department, which is also very small? How would you compare the two?
We've got quite a few people down there. And we have- They changed, we've always had to vote at the high school. You know, so it's all the way from South Tiverton, all the way up to there.
Yeah.
High school.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we-
Next direction, they go this, sit down there, and this.
My thought was to keep, was if you're splitting ballot style 4 into 2 precincts, the polling places would be the high school and amicable, and we would just need a place for precinct 6, which is quite small. That's why I brought it up, because I see that it's in district, and then I would consider like a precinct split being like, you know, Brayton Road or something like that, because we saw everybody here is used to going to the high school, and we can keep them going to the high school. whereas everyone here is used to going to amicable, and we could keep them going to amicable.
And then where is,
You want to go to Amicable, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
where is
Well, that's-
Sandy Woods?
That's been a big
Sandy
complaint of
Woods?
hers.
Sandy Woods.
Sandy Woods, let me look
Yeah,
at it.
Sandy Woods. I think it's the smallest one right now.
Yeah, I think they only had, what, 400 people? That's it.
That was.
Sandy Woods, yes, and you don't need to have that small of a precinct to get in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was right here, that's right here. Sandy Woods,
On Muse Way.
43 Muse Way.
I wonder why you couldn't use that library there, just Sandy Woods, for a call polling place.
Oh, well, the whole place, you mean have 2 polling places there?
Yep, you have you have Sandy Wood in this precinct, in this ballot style. Yeah, I know you have a couple up here in North Tiverton. I know you have,
The
Yeah,
VFW.
the VF, is it, and this is Pecasset.
Yes.
Catholic school.
So you have Pecasset Elementary School here. Yeah, one of your easiest precincts might be just to keep one exactly how it is now.
Yeah.
Because right, it has 2,577 voters in it. That'll be your easiest precinct. And then the second one could, you know, I could set it to be drawn there. And that's your VFW, I believe.
Meeting.
Is precinct 2 VFW? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So they're there, we just have, and then a third one could be,
Country View.
is Country View, you want to keep it? Here, I'll fill out this one, and then we just have the southern area down here to work with. Okay, so what that did was, it brought 1,538 voters into precinct 3, which most of them, a vast majority of them, are already in it. And then it kept 2 the same, but now as you can see, we still have this area south of the highway that need to be determined where they go. So between both the elementary school and VFW are both working out well for polling?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you have I would just be intrigued about what ideas we have for this area here. It's,
Well, it's the town hall. Right?
well, the town hall is around here, yeah?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, the town hall's here, I think. I think that's town hall right there.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
Where did 7 vote before?
I have Amicable Church?
That's where 7 voted before?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I have 1,247 people here. That actually might be population. Yep, yeah, no, there's 1,200 voters down here to divvy up. And they are used to voting. Most of these folks are used to voting at Ranger Elementary School.
Oh. Oh.
So they would probably, if if you have 3 precincts up in the north, you would probably, keep a difference there. If you're going down to 7, or if you're going from 7 to 6, which is the ones that you were hoping to be able to leave and not go to anymore? Close down at
I
a
mean,
point.
which polling place?
Which polling place would you, do you have a preference on which ones you would say, we don't need to go there anymore? We're getting rid of a precinct.
That's Sandy Woods.
Is that Sandywood?
Yeah,
Okay,
that was our pocket.
yes, yeah, okay. So then, 3 would still go to Country View. Okay, and then Sandywood is, you wouldn't have that as a polling place anymore.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you add the Catholic Church down in the 6th district, that means that you would maybe vacate 2 precincts up here. And the ones remaining are the,
You mean St. Madeline's Catholic Church?
if you decided to use that one for the southern precinct, right there,
Yeah.
then you're adding one, so that means that as far as polling places, there's like another one further up north you wouldn't use. Do you have a second one that you would say you would like to get rid of?
See, I would say Country View. No,
I mean, you would weigh the Country View versus Ranger Elementary School.
Over at District 7, not at District 1, District 7, how many is in
I have changed District 7 to be District 6, and you have 16, 17. Right there, 1,617. Yeah, okay.
there? I was talking about 7.
Precinct 7?
there isn't one now, though.
Precinct 7, as it exists right now, has 1,725 voters. I see the figure right there. Yeah, it currently, as it exists today, it has 1,725. Yeah. And they have been going to the Amicable Church. And they would probably, if you split up 3,800 2 ways, then it's about the same amount. 2,700 are used to go into the high school.
Yeah. Okay.
And how many are going to Country View?
Country View, 1,500. And I've added 38 to match the new Senate line.
Which makes sense. You gotta understand, Country View is a 55 and over community. Plus you have the Tiverton Housing Authority up there, which is right by, next street over from First Lane. So I would recommend keeping Country View because of your elder population on that side.
But your recommendation would be to eliminate Sandy Woods?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my only further follow-up question is, if you add St. Madeline, what do you eliminate that you're currently using up in the area? You have a bunch around the high school. You have that's also where Ranger Elementary School is. Yeah, you have a bunch up there.
St. Madeline's, we don't have no elections there.
Okay.
But he's suggesting opening it up, and I'm saying I think it's too small.
Yeah.
And I don't
You
think they
can't,
have
you can't
parking.
do it.
Pardon?
You only got a small.
Yeah, they don't have parking there or anything.
Okay.
Really? Okay.
Okay, so what that would mean is that we would recommend Amicable to be the Precinct 6. And then we need to come up with an area for, like, I just drew, I used the brook as a dividing line between 4 and 5. Because I know when I saw a lot of your precincts are up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of going to be a little odd to try and draw a line over to get a precinct up here. It would look weird, the numbers would be off. It just seems like there is a definite locus of opportunities in this area here.
Do you have a suggestion to remediate that issue?
Probably. Let me see what you have now. Precinct 6. 7 and 6.
One was already voting out of district from South Tiverton, who's voting in high school.
Right, right.
Mm, yeah.
And they don't have to anymore. They don't have to do that anymore. We have the high school here. So I would say send 5 to send this group here to you can send them to Ranger Elementary, or the high school. These people here are used to going to the elementary. These people here are used to going to the high school. So I can total them up and see what the different, how many people you are keeping in their polling place. Okay. 1,555 live in this square here. $592 live in this polygon here. So if you want, you can keep more people in the precinct, the polling place they're used to, by having 5 go to the Ranger Elementary School, and having this group here continue going to the high school.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be any problem. Do you think it'd be a problem? No. I think that's a good suggestion.
Okay. Okay, you'd have 2,600 going to the high school, and 1,540 going to the elementary school. And you've gotten rid of Sandywood Farms. Okay. Now there's a question for the board. It's what to do with this group here. If you want to divvy it up, I can continue using the main street.
What if you, all the southern part and start moving up and just running parallel?
Okay.
So that the northern part is one and the southern part is
So you're talking about
the other.
The only reason I kept with the west-east split was because the polling places are here, and
So that would be for the northern part.
here, yeah. Here and here are the polling places that they use.
Okay.
Have you considered using town hall at all? I got more towns shifting towards using town hall as a election day polling place.
There's not a lot of parking.
No, that's what I say, no
Yeah,
parking on
no
it.
parking, yeah.
Okay.
And then we use this as the presidential only,
Only,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
so I don't think town hall would be a good option.
Okay.
Let me give 2 options. Let me give a west, a north-south, and an east-west. and then, because Kim has talked about using a north-south. And then we'll see the merits. I mean, it's kind of a, there's kind of a cheap little carve out here that we set up 10 years ago to bring the elementary school into the precinct.
When you say the elementary school, you're referring to Ranger?
That's actually Picasset Elementary.
Cass?
Yeah. I'm setting up a north-south option.
And you're saying north of 24 and south of 24?
I think there are too many people that live north of 24.
Right?
Yeah, you would have to have, I'll use Schooner just for this
Schooner, okay.
exercise. Okay, right here we have 3250 and 3360, with both precincts having a polling place inside them. If you want me to, I mean, that's pretty much, I mean, I can make them a little more compact.
What would that do for us to make it more compact?
You cut down on driving time
Oh,
and to the polling place. You just have to, you see that's very, very close. 33 and 3302, 3310. You've cut a little bit of, I mean, you still have everybody here driving up to the VFW, and you have switched. Yeah, these people now going to a different polling place, as well as these people. I mean, it's right down the street, so I'm not sure they would mind.
what about the Picasset School? Who's going there?
I actually would like to use that school. I mean, Picasset School is here. think, Kim? I mean, you want to make it more north-south? I mean,
Well,
I can do that, I can do that by adding this neighborhood in there, even though it's kind of big.
Mhm.
And just the more you make this into a north-south split, the more people you've put into a different polling place than they're used to.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
So the purple would be Cassett?
It could be whichever one you want. I think more people, everybody west of Main Road has been going to Pecasset, so I would recommend keeping it like that, yes. Yeah. And then all of these voters here are gonna go to a new polling place if you keep 3. So they would probably go to the VFW, yeah.
The south ones,
Yes,
down there?
yeah.
Oh,
Now, if you have a 4th precinct down here, then we can keep everybody. You can keep everybody that's used to going to Pecasset in that polling place, and you can keep everyone that has been going to VFW going to VFW. You would just have to have this be like a 4th precinct for this ballot style.
So how many in the current precincts, how many people were going to the VFW?
I believe 2,700, I think. 2788 currently go to VFW, and
And how many to Cassett?
2577.
So we're increasing those by
Uh,
700.
yes,
yeah.
yes. I could bring more people into the 3rd if that was requested, because the 3rd has 1,500.
and where do they vote?
Country View.
Can Country View handle a lot more than it currently handles?
Yeah, they probably can, but it's not.
How many do they handle today?
1,500?
1,500 today.
Yeah.
Now, who has to approve this?
You guys.
Secretary of State or?
Well,
You guys approve the boundaries, what makes it up,
Yeah.
and then the State Board of Elections approves the polling place,
Yes.
okay?
Okay.
So you guys configure them the way that you'd want them to have, and think in terms of, well, where's the polling place gonna be for this area, for that area, that sort of thing. So that it's the area that's governed first, and then polling place kind of second.
You can only vote in, for state representative or state senator in your district.
and congressional.
You can't be out of the district, you know?
Yeah.
Right. No, that's true, that's true.
Have we ever used Fort Barton Elementary?
They used to, yeah, but they, I don't know why.
That must have been a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
Really?
Yeah.
It's right next door to us.
Oh, really?
Down the street.
Just
Down the street.
Down the street
Okay.
here, yeah.
I had given you a location for the Waters Church
Oh,
on Fish Road.
yeah.
They're on a renovation right now. But would that be in the green?
Let me see.
No,
I don't see an address for Waters Church.
Well, how about,
I mean,
Fish Road and Fish and,
I mean, here's Fish Road.
It's up at the north.
If I bring this, if I show you the satellite,
it used
Oh, that's
to
a
be
terrible
the
basement.
Knights of Columbus.
okay.
It's on the border of Fall River and Tiverton.
Oh, that would be precinct 2. Right there?
Right there.
Okay, yeah, that's precinct 2. That's,
So we'd have options for precinct 2 if Waters Church was renovated and available, or Fort Barton.
I mean, that means you're getting rid of either Pecasset Elementary or the VFW.
It would be the VFW.
Okay.
Put it, yeah.
Why would we change the VFW, Jim?
They have a new commander,
Yeah,
and we have already reached out to them
yeah,
for the elections, general election,
yeah.
and they have a card game the night before the election, and they won't allow us to bring in the equipment until 8 o'clock, between 8 o'clock at night and 10 o'clock at night.
Oh, jeez,
And the
really?
Board of Elections delivers the equipment during the day,
Yeah, that's right.
so we have an issue. We can't just wait until 8 o'clock and
Yeah, no,
Yeah, that's
because
right, that's
the
right.
maintenance guys are gonna be up at 4 or 5 in the morning
Right,
to take care of the polling places election day.
So they won't allow you to deliver the equipment the day before at the VFW?
They don't have a secure place for it.
The day before, yes, but between 8 o'clock at night and 10 o'clock at night.
Okay, I hear
So that's an issue.
you. Yeah.
yep.
It's a new commander, and they don't wanna change their card game, so I'm stuck.
Oh, it doesn't change.
Didn't they fight for the right to vote?
that's the same with Hamilton, we can only, they want to know now, so they can schedule the hall. The people are putting in for it.
For it, yeah, yeah.
If they put in for it, they're gonna take it.
So we can't use them this coming election, right? This, for the referendum?
For the general election, November 8th,
Yeah.
for the primary, correct. So, I'm stuck.
Yeah, we're all stuck, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
stuck. They won't budge. We've asked them twice already.
I'm flabbergasted, I'm flabbergasted.
I
Yeah,
guess
I
there's a new commander of the Post, and they're just, they have the card game in that room. They're not budging. They're not allowing us to deliver the equipment. They would allow us election day, but they won't allow us to deliver the equipment the day before.
Okay, you could possibly have a new commander by the time, by November. I think they have an election every year.
I don't know. I do know there's a new commander there now.
Yeah, they elect one every year.
Do you know what time of year?
I think in the spring,
Do they?
I think so.
The American Legion's every 2 years, so I don't know.
Yeah.
'Cause
I'm stuck. I had it
my
2
father-in-law,
years
my
and
uncles were
12.
life members of
Yeah,
that place.
yep.
So
Yeah,
I'm pretty
yeah.
familiar with how they run things there as far as electing the commander. I believe it's every year.
Well, there's been a change since the last election, that's all I know. We can certainly find that out.
But even that, you don't know if the new one's gonna wanna.
Right.
Right, yep.
I don't have many, I used to have some good connections there. I don't have those connections anymore.
Anymore,
They
yeah.
passed away, unfortunately.
You were walking distance, when you young.
Yeah.
How about that, Atlantic Club?
That's a long time ago, Only kid.
I used to work
How
there. I used to
about
be a bartender.
What
I was in
about-
college, yeah.
That's in Massachusetts.
My
You
uncle-
can't go
my
to
uncle managed-
Oh, we can't go
Yeah.
there. But how about that Atlantic Club, isn't that's still Tiverton?
That's still Tiverton, but I don't know what facilities they have,
I don't know.
but that's a possibility. Atlantic Club.
I do want to talk about the chance that they might not increase the voting cap.
Well, with this,
I-
if they don't increase it and we're at 3,000, then,
Then you keep 7 precincts.
yeah.
And I'm wanting to work out an example of least disruption, if that happens.
Okay.
It might actually be your preferred setup
Solution,
to begin with.
and that means we're back to same.
It means possibly you got the elementary school down here for this area here.
That's Fort Barton.
Yeah.
You don't know what the commander's name was, do you?
I have kept precinct 1 as it currently exists. I've kept precinct 2 as it currently exists. I've slightly increased precinct 3 to adjust for the new state line. And then I've named it 8 because it's just out of nowhere. I've named it 8. It would be 4 probably, but for now it's 8. And it is 1,247 voters that basically live between the highway and
Marsh Road.
Bogamarsh Road. Okay, yeah. Okay. I just saw a photo of what's your experience with the local school here?
With what?
When he was building on and everything, they stopped him. School board or something. They wanted to.
Say again?
What are you talking about?
When they were building, they stopped
He was
elections.
addition and all that, but.
They renovated the entire school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did they? Okay.
The Fort Barton.
Fort Barton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Fort Barton.
Okay. I didn't know what you were talking about.
So I assume they're done renovating?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And so they would be an option?
I would think it's, public school.
Well, Joe, would it be the basement? Is that what it is? Is it the basement, or do they have another room that you have the elections in?
I've never been over there.
They have a room where, have you ever attended the winter tree lighting ceremony?
No, not recently.
Because then all the people go down to Fort Barton, and they have a gym area.
Okay, the multi-purpose room then. I took my granddaughter to see Santa Claus once.
Right, exactly. That
The
room.
multi-purpose room. Okay, all right. Okay, that's a good room.
I think that would handle about 1,200 people over a course of a day. Early voting here.
So,
Good park.
what are you suggesting now?
I'm
District 7.
I believe if you are content with these 7 precincts and you have no trouble getting staffing for them, it's a very comfortable way to move forward. I believe we have not disrupted a lot of people's polling place that they're used to, and no matter what the House has passed the cap increase. The Senate is not communicating about their intentions. So, and we can provide 2 different plans. I can set up 2 different street files to say, for your consideration.
7 as it is.
Yeah.
It runs right down each road. Crandall Road to Main Road. Now the other route, we'll be on towards your little Compton side.
Yeah.
Everybody else goes to the high school.
We did disrupt that a little bit with the state lines, but I did find, and I can put more people in. Let me see what I can do here. I can put more people back into the high school precinct. Let me just make sure I'm doing it right. Okay, so precinct 6 is the high school as existing. Yes, yes, so I do have some room to add more, if the board desires that.
Well, that would be a good alternative because it's a local spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good spot.
Okay, so I would bring the line down King Road instead of the brook.
Where was it prior to King Road?
It did use King Road 10 years ago. And then up the pond, I would say I might use I'll see what I can do here. Okay, so I got, Okay, I'm at 24, 29, okay, I'm at 30, I'm at 3,040. I would say maybe it's worth using, apologize, what's the street that's Route 77?
Main Road.
Main Road, okay, yeah, all right. That,
177 is Boulder Marsh, isn't it?
Oh, sorry, so he asked us
77.
77,
77.
Main Road.
Okay, now precinct 4 has 2,947, it passed no matter what, and you've kept everybody going to the high school that you can, and you just have this little area here that goes to, Ranger? Ranger, yeah, okay.
How many are in 5?
As drawn here.
925.
925. How many people can this, I mean, is this Madeline Church too small for equipment? Are we talking that small?
I think so. It's very small.
Okay.
It was Mission Church,
Mm-hmm,
so it's not a big church at all.
okay.
No, it's not.
Where would the area be in St. Matt's? Would it be in the basement?
Well, nothing there because it's cold a big part of the time.
Okay.
Yeah, get a priest will come and come to St. Madeline.
Yeah, but I mean, we could use it on a day, it's not gonna be used anyway, so we could use it for polling, is it?
Yeah, Diane goes there.
Yeah.
She's a
We could go to
deal
your,
there.
we could go to your house, Bobby. You've got a garage, don't you?
Not enough parking.
You know, I guess what I'm looking at is like the VFW, I'm sorry, when we used to go to the North Tiverton Volunteer Fire Department, that was a small area also. And I think the amount of parking there is, at St. Madeline's is equal to, if not larger, than the volunteer fire department. So that might be something we could consider, maybe look into.
Yeah, like Kim said, today's important about geography with precincts, with polling places in mind, but there's still work to do for nailing down polling places. Okay. As you know, and we've talked about, we have a second option here for the second, what's this club here?
That's Waters Church.
Waters Church, okay. Might be available, the VFW is a nuisance. And if you have, the 8th precinct, or sorry, the 7th precinct down here, then you've made no change to the current precincts, north of 24. So, this does not have to be decided today, it can be pondered. We wanted to give you options and discuss the merits of each.
Would it help if, Mr. Taylor mentioned he could give us several workups? Would it be helpful if the gentleman could give us a couple of workups, the ones they think are the best, and we could subsequent to that, consider those at another meeting?
Yeah, we definitely have to have another meeting so that you can decide.
Decide,
You're
right.
gonna need a vote.
But that information would be helpful to
Yeah.
deliberations.
We can create maps of the different alternatives, give you counts of numbers of registered voters in each of them. If you give us, and you've already sent us the listing of your polling places.
Yep.
We'll put those as dots on the map, so that it's there on the paper ones that we send over,
Okay.
or the PDFs that we're gonna send over to you.
And Joe, would it be appropriate for them also to give us a recommendation as to which one they think is more viable, why that is?
I am,
We can look at that.
we need some information about what your experience has been with staffing of the elections. I see maintaining 7 precincts as very much viable for the geography and the number of voters, but you might have had problems getting staffing for 7 precincts, and you would love to make your life easier by only going to 6.
Was that the primary reason for doing away with 7?
I hear all the time, it's hard to find staffing
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
a point,
for polling
and
places.
polling places that'll work with you. That's why I said, we could, with the lines now, we can get down to 6, if they raise the cap to 3,500.
Right.
We went through this 10 years ago, I was on the board.
Okay, yeah,
It seemed like it didn't take this long.
yeah.
I don't know if you guys were involved in that, but
We
We were.
We were?
We were,
We
10
were,
years
yeah.
ago, yeah, yeah.
We're,
Do you know where Victory Church RI is on Crandall Road?
That the old restaurant?
Yeah.
Brand's house?
Yeah.
I just don't know whether, is it south of King Road or
I have 91 Crandall
It's
Road.
north of King Road.
north of King Road? Never mind. North of King Road. Not a good option. Because there's not much on Crandall Road south.
Yeah, yeah, you're not missing out on options in that area. You know, you have the high school,
Yeah.
Yeah. High school's right down the street.
yeah. So we look forward to your first impressions. What are your first impressions of everything of the
Make
options?
District 7 the way it is right now.
That's what I think, the less confusion, the less changes, the better.
Okay, the less change means 7 precincts.
Right.
Keeping 7 precincts, yeah.
That sound okay, John?
It is what it is.
We've been able to staff it before, we wanted to be,
Because-
but we've been able to do it.
You know, we can waive the one, but this lady here has to
That's
staff
the
the place.
staff of place, yeah, that's right.
Well, our biggest issue was Sandy Woods only had like 600. So there wasn't much activity.
Right.
So what, if we have, what you have identified as 5 with 925,
Mm-hmm.
that also will be, you know, there's not gonna be much activity at that precinct, and it's very boring for those people.
People, right.
So, you know,
I can add
split it
more.
evenly.
I can add more. I just, this, I mean, I can give it more activity. This was, everybody that continues to go will
Yeah.
go. But that's just one value.
Yeah.
Now, I am perfectly fine with beefing up that number. And I'm just using the brook instead of Main Road as the boundary.
Yeah.
You see, now it's 1,275.
And 4 is
2,600.
So 2,600 at the high school, 1,200 at Ranger,
Right.
Mm-hmm, yep,
that would work.
mm-hmm,
The new one would be Fort Barton. You'd be swapping out basically Sandy Woods and having people vote at Fort Barton, who normally would have gone to Ranger.
yes,
So
yes.
they're used to going to a school, it just would be a different school.
School,
Mhm.
yeah.
And a closer school,
Correct.
Yeah.
For most of them. They,
yeah.
Yeah,
they had to go to Bogamash to get into North Brayton to get up to
Mhm.
Ranger. So that's a possibility.
And that's keeping 7 or no?
Keeping 7.
you keep it seven, yeah.
I should change that number to 7. I'll do that right now. Okay, and then it would be probably be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be the number in this game.
Or you go clockwise.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
Yeah,
yeah.
Or however they figure that out.
They say just be consistent
Yeah.
when I've been employing a north-south method
Okay.
in our other towns where we have the freedom to.
So we basically have 2 voting out of district.
You have amicable, you have precinct 7 here, going to amicable. and you have precinct 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here going to Ranger, yeah.
Yeah.
325 Hurst Lane. Hurst Lane is up here, I believe.
Yeah, the very top. It's like a street south of the state line.
Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
I lived at the, I lived near the high school, and when I first moved into Tiverton, I voted at Country View, so.
There you go.
Okay, well, we made it, we put it closer to you now, except, are you in this precinct here?
I'd be in 4,
4, right around here?
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you used to go to Ranger.
Yep.
The last 10 years you've been going to Ranger?
Yeah,
Okay. And now you'd be the high school?
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
But they're like
No
right,
difference.
they're next door?
right,
Yeah.
no difference.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
So this would be a good option for, if they don't vote for 3,500 in the Senate,
Mhm.
Right, right.
we would have to stay with 7 in order to
Be under the cap.
Yeah,
be
okay,
under the cap.
right.
Unless you made a big change, unless you made a big change up here. By that means bringing precinct 3 over here, and pushing 1 and 2 down. You could do that, remember, because there was, like 8,500 or 80, I think it was 8,100? Yeah, there was
Something like that.
8,100 voters up in Senate's 10. You can divide that by 3. It just means you're changing a lot of people's voting, and I've heard that you might not want to do that.
Yeah, that's really the problem.
Yeah.
Know that we are going to send out postcards to every voter
Every voter,
You
right.
do, yeah.
in town to identify what
Where they're going.
Senate district they have, what
Yeah.
House district, and what precinct they're in Tiverton, and where they're going to be voting.
Right.
But
So-
they still get, they still get.
Well, I know. I'm a poll worker too. I've been for 15 years, so I know, I've heard all the stories too, you know. Yep.
So when will we get your synopsis back? So Bobby will know when to have the next meeting.
What do you think?
Do you have a meeting scheduled?
Not yet.
Not yet. That's what
That's
they're-
what I said, he needs to schedule another meeting around
Yeah.
your
Um,
input.
So you want 2 plans? You want a 7 precinct plan and a 6 precinct plan? Okay. I could do that probably within a week. I would say, let me look at my calendar. Probably by Thursday the 7th.
7th of April, okay.
Yeah.
That'd be fine.
You want to do that, Bob?
What?
You want to schedule a meeting on the 7th?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Or you want to wait in case they don't get it to us in time, maybe the first of the next week?
No, we should be able to.
So we have to get a street file up to
Right. that's the other
Secretary of
thing.
State by April 15th.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't want to go any later than that.
okay. I didn't know that, April 15th.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually, could do the 5th also. Is Tuesday the 5th or Thursday the 7th better for you folks?
What do you think, Bob?
Thursday the 7th.
Okay.
Yep, I'm fine with that, yep. And what time?
But are you
All
going to be
help.
flying in
What time?
again?
Hmm?
Are you going to be flying in again? No, is he gonna be?
I'm always in town.
He's in
Are you
town,
gonna
yeah.
fly in?
I have no idea what my,
Yeah. If he's in DC, then he comes in on Zoom.
yeah,
So
I
it's
do.
Thursday.
Okay, that's you.
Yeah, yeah.
4 PM.
4 PM? Okay.
That's what I got, 4 PM. Okay.
Yeah.
So 4/7 at 4 PM.
Okay. What I will do is I will create 2 plans with voter counts and polling place possibilities, and I'll send them to Joan, and then she will distribute to the
Okay.
board.
And we'll see you on the 7th at 4 o'clock?
Yep.
Good.
And I'll try to get that to you as soon as I can. And
I
then,
kinda like this. This is,
I think this is very clean.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
less disruption to the majority of the people.
Oh, the people, yeah, right, right.
So,
I
and
mean,
as far as poll workers go, you know, it's been difficult with COVID, but,
Yeah,
but we do have early, we'll probably have, early voting here for however many days, depending on what the state
says, yeah.
says.
Yeah.
I'm not hopeful that the Senate will take action, because I know I've sent emails to
Yeah,
say, you know, can you move this forward?
Kim and I have a very good relationship with the House. The Senate's a little bit disconnected,
yeah,
and it's hard to really get, Nick Lima is like, chatted with him on the phone today to see what his progress was. They're not telling me anything. They're not saying,
Yeah.
no, that's too much of a change, we're not doing it. And they're not also saying, it's being planned, we're gonna get it back up. They're just not saying anything. It is a little frustrating. That's why I'm like, I need to start exploring what happens. Because the House was done, but it passed with flying colors. Yeah.
And we'll probably reach out to some of the polling locations, and see if they are available / doable.
yeah.
So which ones have we talked about? I remember we talked about the Madeline Catholic Church, we've talked about the Fort Barton School, we talked about the Waters Church. Was there any others that I missed?
Amicable.
Amicable we have
Yeah, that's,
established,
these
yeah.
are new
They'll
things.
kill me
Yeah.
there, but
I'm just saying,
Because I'm okay with Country View, Ranger, a high school, Amicable. Those 4, we've already contacted Country
Yeah.
View.
okay.
We've already scheduled the high school, Ranger School, and Pecasset. We've already scheduled them for the general. So we're all set on those.
Yeah.
It would be just the Fort Barton, and if we need to replace the VFW with a location, then I have to find a location. And that could potentially be Waters Church, or,
Very well, Madam
The
Clerk.
Atlantic Club.
Very well, Madam Clerk.
You want me to go, well, Bobby, you can run over to St. Madeline's and see what you think it would be. I just see it as so small that not to be an option,
Let me tell you,
yeah.
you really started shutting down, they only have just one little service.
Yeah.
You
And
gotta get the
parking
priest from Little
is-
Compton to come in and do it.
Come in to do it, really, yeah, yeah.
I think
There's
that's
nothing in the back,
Yeah,
the hall, is pretty well screwed up.
Yeah,
Doesn't sound pretty.
yeah.
do you pay for election
I
day
got married there.
polling?
places.
Long
yes.
time.
How much?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Depends on the location.
Okay.
The schools we don't pay for, obviously.
Obviously, yeah, yeah.
Country View is a nominal charge, VFW was a nominal charge, Amicable was a little bit more,
they have raised their rent,
yeah, they've raised their rate.
Have they, yeah, yeah.
but, you know,
We discovered down in Virginia that churches have done that too.
Yeah,
I
they
don't
do a
know if
good
there's
job.
something going through church circles or something. Hey, we can make some more money here or whatever. I don't know.
I think they see what an inconvenience it is. so
Yeah, I think so too, yes, yes.
Got your funeral home, Pecasset Memorial.
We'll probably be there.
Not enough parking.
Ah, yeah.
Oh, they have a big room either.
We were, you got North Tiverton Baptist Church up,
We also have Holy Ghost.
Yeah.
That would be on
Judson.
Judson.
Yeah, so you have, here's a church and here's a church. Holy Ghost.
32,
Hmm?
yep. Where the 32 is, that's the Holy Ghost.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
So
yeah.
if you reach out to them as well.
That'd be a good one.
But that means I keep this line here.
Yep,
Oh, they have parking.
yeah, they
Oh,
have
that's-
parking.
Yeah, right.
That's a good option.
This one doesn't, that I can tell.
Okay, so we can reach out for polling locations
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and see what's available.
Let me know if,
Let us know so that we can put it on the map.
or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we can do them in, you know, kind of like different colors, the ones that are confirmed and those, and other potentials or something like that kind of thing.
Jean's very connected with the Holy Ghost Church, so
I
she
know, I've asked her twice to ask the pastor. And she hasn't yet.
Oh, she hasn't.
No.
Surprising.
And where that two is, that's the Atlantic Sports Club.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
There's lots of parking, but I don't know if they have any,
Yeah, I've never been in.
I don't know if there's a hall in there, I don't know.
Yeah.
It looks like a shopping center.
There's a restaurant and
Yeah.
Bakery.
Oh, really?
Isn't there a bakery, a commercial bakery, is it?
no, I think
Really?
it's,
And what's that
Restaurant.
big thing on the right-hand side?
Apartment complex.
that's Bourne Mill.
Ah, okay.
No, I think they have a martial arts.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, that would be space.
Well, meeting was until 5. Have we given you some, have we given some ideas and some homework?
Yes, we have
Okay.
homework.
All right, I have homework too.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Work on that locations tomorrow so that I can get to you so that you can put stuff together for the 7th.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds good.
Sounds good. I got the 7th at 4 p.m., right?
Yep, correct.
Okay. If Kim's not in town, he'll be in on Zoom.
Yeah, yeah.
And all I do is I just connect to Zoom from here and then he comes in.
And I can
Oh,
I can see what he's showing you on the screen.
Okay. Very good.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Gentlemen,
Thanks, guys.
and then
By all
you
means.
board, you have to, are you going to adjourn?
Yes. Go home, guys.
I second that emotion.
All.
Motion to adjourn?
These all come back.
Okay,
So motion to adjourn was Paul,
yeah.
second was
Me.
Dieta.